Hey guys, my name is Joni and this is Branching Business. Welcome to another video. In this video I want to talk about private identities. So we humans have our own identities. We have a conception of what we are and what we want to be and all that. And I have a life hack for you. So this is a method that I have been using and it's been a really good method. So I have used fake private identities myself. And what it means basically is that if I have some kind of goal that I want to achieve, then I adopt a fake identity which helps me to achieve my goals and helps me push through all the resistance. So for example, if I want to be a writer, I can adopt an identity of a writer, and if I want to be a coder, I can adopt an identity of a coder. And if these identities are far from what you think you are in the real world, then you should keep those identities private, because people might think you're crazy if you have a weird identity and you're telling people that you are something that you don't seem to be to the outside. So you can adopt a private identity. It doesn't harm anyone. You can say to yourself that you are that person you want to be. For example, if you want to be a writer, you can tell yourself that you're a writer. Don't tell others that you're a writer, because then that would be a lie. But you can tell yourself that you're a writer. See how it changes your life. Once you tell yourself enough that message, then there will be a time when you start acting like a writer, and you just can't deal with yourself when you're telling yourself all the time that you're something that you're not. So you need to bridge the gap between your real self and your imaginary self, and that's the method that I've been using, and it's really effective. I can say to myself that I'm a writer or I'm a coder, and those things, once they were only imaginary identities, they became real identities in the end. So you can use identities to bring yourself positive leverage. And choosing an identity is always an act of commitment. You're not tied to any single identity. Yeah, so I'm a man, and I have no need to change that identity, and I'm pretty much tied to that identity. But if I wanted to explore other sides of myself, then I could say that I'm a woman and see if it changes anything inside of me. Yeah, but one more thing about this identity role play. So one thing that is related to identities is what philosophers call sunk cost fallacies. So oftentimes it's our fixed identity that is stopping us from achieving things in life. And I want you to think about if you have any sunk cost fallacies in your life. So what sunk cost fallacies mean is, first, fallacy means it's a false belief. Fallacy is a false belief or flawed reasoning. Usually it's just some kind of belief that's not completely justified. And sunk cost means that you have paid something, you have invested in something. In this case, you're invested in an identity, and you don't want to rid yourself of that identity because you have invested so much in it. So think about it, if you have these kinds of identities that are possibly too precious for you. So for example, I have master's degrees from university, and I could think that I need to do something with those degrees, but when I rid myself of those expectations, I find that I actually don't need those degrees for anything. So after I'm over the fact that I need to keep with this fixed identity, life gets so much easier, and I can play with different identities. But the most important thing is to recognize if you have those sunk cost fallacies in your own life. So if it is the case that you have invested in your own identity, and that is keeping you from changing into a person that you want to be. Yes. That's pretty much all I have to say at this point. So think about your identity, and try different identities and see if it can help you achieve things. I've noticed that I've found it very useful, and also when I keep changing identities and trying different identities, I'm not that invested in one fixed identity, and I see that it's kind of ridiculous to stay with only one identity and then limit my options in life. And I don't want that to happen, and I'm glad whenever I can give myself new options and new possibilities, and that happens through exploring and accepting new different identities. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in one of my future videos. Thank you. Bye bye.